This year has been one of increased national and folk interest, but don't get all butthurt if this review isn't all bunny rabbits and rose petals, because that isn't our situation. In early November, I was notified that come December 12th, irishidentitarian.com domain name will expire, and I made a mental footnote to make a video reviewing the year in nationalism, as well as to ask my listeners if they'd be interested in helping me pay for renewal of the domain. Just €1 or €2 from a few people should do the trick. Of course, I'll renew the domain anyway, as I don't want anybody posing as me online, but I won't do anything with it. If I do get help with it, I'll take it as a market signal that my opinion is valued, and will commit further organizing and furnishing the website, as well as releasing at least 2 pieces per month. The donation link is in the description. So, Irish nationalist movement, what have you accomplished this year? I ask what you have accomplished because I am not in the movement. A handful of you have made sure of that. Don't mistake this for a single moment for hurt feelings. I'm an adult after all. I'd just like to know what it is that you've accomplished in my absence. Anything more stellar than when I was there? No. You haven't done a goddamn thing except trade memes, vent spleens, and helped push a neoconservative into the highest office of a foreign nation. Oh yeah, and you had a hand in the creation of the Irish National Party. A big red target for everyone from the media to Antifa to fire straw men at, because Identity Ireland wasn't edgy enough for you. I'm no fan of Identity Ireland, but at least they are busy building bridges between like organisations around Europe and the world for when they and their sister organisations actually ascend to power. What has the Irish National Party done? LARP for a Catholic fascist state in a secular pagan atheist country? Who exactly is the target audience of this proposed retreat back into the caves? This only makes the legitimate concept of Irish self-determination and ethnic integrity look stupid and dangerous. It's also backed and supported by you lot for the edge factor. Stuck on the Jew-concocted left-right spectrum, you've somehow got it into your heads that the further right you push something, the further correct it must be. Let me rephrase that. The further you push something towards what you conceive of as right, as opposed to left, is what you perceive of as good. Who the fuck are you people anyway? All that I know of you are my sources within the broader movement, and what the media, and social media, has been telling me. Is that a strategy? To have your enemies speak for you? Was that intentional, or are you just a barrel of incompetence? It sure smacks of that to me, and I'm beginning to suspect this Justin Barrett fella and his partners aren't exactly on our side. How many times do faux opposition movements and parties have to rise and predictably fail before people at large realize they're being played? It's always been the case that our eternal enemy has established our movements for us using the tactic now associated with the CIA of completely fudging up the bureaucracy, so ultimately the movement achieves nothing except look ridiculous to the rest of us. Don't you guys get it yet that you're a part of a dialectic that emphasizes the most absurd and extreme manifestations of each political position by funding and helping to coordinate them, only to play them off against each other just to cause chaos and instill apathy in the masses? While you guys stew in your superiority complexes demanding Catholic fascism, you're alienating most of Ireland and forcing them to remain on the left, while Antifa wait to recruit some of them, but ultimately alienate most of them, so that ordinary people completely check out of the equation altogether. Most people, rightfully, think you're both a pack of fucking nutcases. Those are your accomplishments in 2016. Well done. You have helped to turn half of the Western world into divisive extremists and the other half into apathetic zombies. Now the genocide of the Irish peoples and so many others continues unabated. Well done. I wouldn't be entirely honest if I left myself out of this critique, so I'll dedicate a few sentences to it. I've dropped the ball in terms of the website I created, giving off a half-assed impression, and I have all but entirely ceased writing and recording for the site and YouTube channel. Now, back to the movement at large. I lost my enthusiasm for this project and for Irish sovereignty and identity entirely after I was taken into your fold and saw what low-quality materials we have to work with. When you weren't busy involving yourselves in an election process that was none of your fucking business, you spent an unhealthy amount of time together, virtue signaling, IQ signaling, and carrying on like a bunch of paranoid gobshites as if you had something going on worth concealing. Even if your online circle jerks amounted to something that I wasn't privy to, it was all in your shared fantasy world because it never made any impact in the objective and real one. How could it? Beyond being as fashy as possible, I don't think you guys can even agree on what needs to be done. You justifiably talk shit about the left, but they have a definite edge on what stands as the nationalist movement. The left knows what it's doing. The left aren't crippled by paranoia and obsessed with coming across as intelligent to one another. They have an ideology, goals, they start campaigns, they delegate labor to get the job done. They can do this because they have a common language and aren't interested in themselves. The movement would be well capable of doing this, only it seems to have caught the alt-right bug, an obvious American psychological operation, one objective of which is to confound our language, to borrow a biblical concept. Outside of 3 intelligent-sounding subjects you retread again and again, I can't understand whether most of you are being serious or not, and I'm pretty sure nobody else can either. This is based on data that's 8 months old, because that's when I was ousted from the community. Maybe things have changed, but again, nothing changed in objective reality, so I have no reason to believe so. It makes me wonder if you're just completely unaware of the horror of our extant reality, or whether your movement exists simply to soothe you. In other words, a hug box and an echo chamber. Words applied to the left, but clearly not exclusive to the left. Think my criticism of Irish nationalism in 2016 are unjustified, misapplied, or made up? Prove me wrong. Show me what's different. Better yet, tell me, as Gaeilge, fluent,